The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Sidebar, its guests, callers, and advisors are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS Verizon Media Group. Sidebar, a 103.5 The Beat podcast, is a production of ILTV Studios and may not be reproduced or represented, in part or in its entirety, without the express written consent of Verizon Media Group. Sidebar is the intellectual property of Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2024. All rights reserved.
Welcome to Sidebar, a 103 The Beat podcast powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. Today, taking into consideration what Patrick said last week, that it is our responsibility as creatives to tell the stories that need to be told, I decided to do this episode a little different. Today, I thought, what would be a better way than to start dealing with what it means to be Bahamian, the story of the Bahamas. And so we're going to start with two of the most important national symbols, the flag and the national anthem. Now, in order for this to not just be me talking directly at camera for 45 minutes, which I do not have an issue with, I just, I'm worried. For you, I don't want you to just be like, oh God, wow, it's a lot of Stephen to ingest at one time. I've invited some friends to help me. Are the friends puppets? Some of them are. Hey, half of this episode is for the kids. Actually, let them watch the whole thing, because I spent the entire week not sleeping to pull this off, so I really hope that you enjoy it. Anyway, when we come back, someone else will be sitting in this chair, and we will start with a conversation about the flag. This is Sidebar, a 103 The Beat podcast powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. We'll be right back.
Win a brand new 2026 GAC MPOW every week for 5 weeks. Every 10 reward points earns you 1 digital entry. The more entries you gain, the better your chances to win. 5 weeks, 5 cars. Will you be one of our lucky winners? Catch the keys today, only at Island Luck. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so game responsibly.
Today, we are talking about national symbols, and the first symbol we're going to talk about is the Bahamian flag.
Oh, Auntie Yas, I know about the Bahamian flag.
Hey everyone, it's Cousin Timothy. Tell everyone hi, Cousin Timothy.
Hi, Cousin Timothy.
All right, tell us, what do you know about the Bahamian flag?
The Bahamian flag is black, gold, and aquamarine.
That's right, and it looks like this.
Ooh, I have a question, Auntie Yas.
Yes.
What is aquamarine?
Aquamarine is the color of the ocean, which brings us to...
What do the colors of the flag mean?
What was that?
Hey, it's not my studio.
But what do the colors of the flag mean? I thought we just picked them because they look so cool when you have on a shirt with your big coin medallion.
While that is true, every color means something. For example, the blue stripes are what color?
Aquamarine.
Yes, and that is the color of the...
Ocean.
And so, what could that color represent?
The ocean?
Yes, and between the two aquamarine stripes is a gold stripe. Can you think of something that's usually golden?
Mango?
Well, mangoes are sometimes yellow and sometimes green and sometimes purple and red. So can you think of something that's usually yellow?
Yellow mango?
Sure. But on the flag, some people say that the gold represents the golden sunshine. But according to the 5th edition of the Complete Flags of the World, the yellow on the flag reflects the island's sandy beaches.
Oh, that makes sense. So what does the black triangle mean?
Ooh, the black represents the people.
But I'm not black. I'm blue. So the flag doesn't represent me?
No, the flag does represent you. The black isn't about the color of the people. Black is a strong color, and the black on that flag represents the strength of the people.
Even blue people?
That black triangle represents everyone. If you're a Bahamian, whether you're black, brown, red, yellow, white, pink, purple, or green.
And blue?
And definitely blue. Wherever the flag is, it represents you and your brother and your sister and your mother and your father and your uncle.
Even my cousins?
Even your cousins.
I guess the flag is pretty accepting.
It is.
So now I know what colors I need to make the flag. Black, gold, and aquamarine, which is the color of the ocean.
Yes.
Wait a minute. The ocean is made up of water.
Yes.
And water is clear.
Well, yes.
So how is it blue? Sidebar. When we see an object, what we are seeing is the light that bounces off the object and makes it to our eyes as a wave of light. Light from the sun has all the colors in it, and when light bounces off an object, sometimes that object absorbs some of the colors. Water molecules absorb the red from sunlight very easily, but the water scatters blue light more than any other color. That means there is more blue light waves that escape the ocean and go to our eyes, making it look like the ocean is blue. Sometimes the blue is different shades of blue because of how deep the water is, as well as the organism inside of the ocean. Wait, if the ocean can be different types of blue, which blue is the right blue?
That's a good question. Because the blue in the flag is a special type of blue.
So, which is it?
I wasn't sure, so I called my friend Michelle at the Ministry of National Security. They are responsible for how we can use national symbols like the flag and the coat of arms. According to Michelle, the best way to get the right color for the flag is to use color codes. They use the PMS codes, or the Pantone Matching System codes.
So, what are the codes?
Gold is PMS 123.
123. That's easy to remember.
The aquamarine is PMS 3145.
3145. 3145. Got it. And what's black?
Black is standard.
That's not a number.
I'm just telling you what she said.
Okay, so our flag is 3145123 black.
That is correct.
This is confusing. Why does it matter which color I use as long as it's blue?
Well, Tim, you remember what we said about what the flag represents.
All of the Bahamians.
Now imagine if you introduced yourself as Cousin Timothy and they kept calling you Mothy.
That's not my name.
Exactly. You want them to say your name properly, and this is the same thing. It's very important because at one point there were so many different variations of the flag popping up that the government passed an official national flag color code in 2006.
Is that why my mummy flag looked like different from the flags on the roundabout?
Maybe. In fact, the Olympics in 2008 and the Olympics in 2012 have two different shades of blue and gold for the flags. It was the 2008 Beijing Olympics that used the official Bahamian colors to represent our country, even though to the naked eye, they barely look different.
Thank you, Auntie Yaz. Now that you've explained this to me, I feel like I can finally start my flag jockey business.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
What? The flag jockey will go with the socks made of Bahamian flags.
Tim, while you can use the colors of the flag in any way you want, the actual flag itself, the black equilateral triangle, all sides being equal, the gold stripe, and the two aquamarine stripes is sacred. It's important and it's special. It's so special that there are laws protecting how it can be used.
You mean I could get locked up?
If you want to print flags on clothing or sell flags for people to fly, like on their car or by their house or wherever, you have to get permission from the Ministry of National Security. And that's just to make sure that everybody is using the flag correctly.
How can I use the flag incorrectly? It's my flag. You said the flag represents us. And so if it represents us, I should be able to use it however I want.
Yes, but think about it. If the flag represents you, what if somebody were to take your name and say, oh, I'm gonna write your name on a toilet? Would you like that?
No.
What if they use your name to sell something like a product that you hate, like broccoli, and they called it Timothy's broccoli? How would you feel about that?
That would make me mad.
That's why the flag has certain ways that it has to be displayed and used.
Okay. Thank you. Like what?
I was wondering when you were gonna come back.
I had to go to the little puppet's bathroom.
Here are the rules. If you're flying the Bahamian flag, it must be flown in the daytime.
The flag can't fly at night?
Well, it can't be flown in the dark. If you're flying it at night, then you have to make sure it's well lit.
Flashlights. Gotcha.
Another rule is other flags cannot be in a better place than our flag. So they can't be higher or at a better angle. You can't have the Bahamian flag behind a wall and the flag of another country in the middle of the park.
Got it.
So that also means that you can't have other flags bigger than our flag flying. You can't have a baby Bahamian flag and a 20-foot flag from somewhere else. Do you know why?
Because the big flag would get all the attention and people might think our flag isn't important.
Exactly. In fact, you shouldn't fly the flag of another country if the Bahamian flag isn't there.
Ever?
Well, unless it's at an embassy because they have special permissions, but everywhere else. So, out of respect for all nations, all flags should be the same size. If you forget to put up the Bahamian flag or you're flying another flag bigger than ours, then it feels like you don't respect our flag. And when you don't respect the flag, you are not with respecting what it represents, which is
the ocean.
Yes, but also
my family.
So if they disrespect the flag, they disrespecting your Grammy.
Well, not my Grammy.
That's why you have to respect the flag. So what are the rules?
Always fly it in the light.
And
fly it at the highest height.
What else?
I don't have a word that rhymes with height that means biggest, but make sure no flag is bigger than it.
You got it, Tim.
and the flag will continue to fly forever and ever. Well, kind of. What do you mean? This is the hard part. Sometimes when the flag has been flown in the sun and the wind and the rain, it becomes faded, tattered, and torn. At that point, it no longer represents the best of the Bahamas. That's when we have to change to a new flag. Why? It's still the flag. Yes, but if we don't do anything about it, we're saying indirectly that our nation is torn and faded and has seen better days, and we're not willing to let go of those days and move forward and bring it back to a bright and glorious future. Very dramatic. Fine. So, what do we do with the old flag?
Well,
Do not throw it away, because that would be disrespectful to put a flag, no matter the condition, in the garbage. Do we bury it? No, because I forgot to mention the flag can't touch the ground. So what do you do? Well, according to the laws of the Bahamas, and this is gonna sound crazy, but when the national flag becomes worn, faded, and otherwise unfit for use, it shall be disposed of privately by burning. Burn it? Yes, privately and respectfully. And that's only if it's no longer fit to be used as a representation of the people of the Bahamas. That's a lot. It is. But guess what? Now you know everything you need to know about the Bahamian flag. Yay! So what are you gonna do now? Well, I'm not going to make jockeys out of a flag. Thank goodness. I'll just make flamingo jockeys. There are less rules about them. Oh, brother. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods. Taste the difference.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
welcome back to Sidebar, a 103 to B podcast powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. Let's talk about the national anthem.
Lift up your head to the rising sun, Bahama land.
Now, this feels like an analogy to what before global warming was considered a blessing. The sun on your face, the wind on your back. That is, once again, before global warming was scalding our face off. This was considered a blessing. All right, I think they call it an Irish blessing. But Timothy Gibson isn't asking us to wait on someone to bless us. He's not saying that he is blessing us. As the songwriter, he is admonishing us to go ahead and do the thing that is the blessing. Do this. You need to face the sun. Also, if the sun is rising, that means it's a new day, new opportunities. Facing the sun means that you're headed in the right direction. It's no longer a matter of chance or fortune that's influenced by outside circumstances We are being told that we have to decide that we are going to actively seek this out.
March on to glory, your bright banner waving high.
March on to glory, your bright banners waving high. What does that mean? Because, I mean, glory has multiple interpretations. Glory could be your glory, as in your victory, your joy, your pride after winning a battle. This is your triumph that you're moving towards. So you're marching on to your glory. But also, glory means like the end of one's life, as in dying. Like you're going on to glory. While that interpretation may be darker, keep that one in mind because we're going to circle back to that. Also, it's important to note, march on to glory feels like a reference to soldiers. Now, this context is important because it was written in the 1970s, a colonial Bahamas where war was still looked upon favorably. So we have a marching motif where we're talking about marching on to glory. We are marching. We have glory, we have march, we have banners. Just keep that wartime imagery inside your head.
See how the world marks the manner of your bearing.
See how the world marks the manner of your bearing, like how you deport yourself. See how the world is taking notice of you. Are they judging us? Are they remarking, oh my gosh, it's so cool, those humans are the best? And the whole thing is, there are folks watching us, but to what extent should we be concerned about what they think of us? Now, I don't think that the point of this was the same thing that we were told as kids when we go on Bay Street or in hotels, like, don't embarrass us in front of tourists. Honestly, you still hear that today when people shudder at seeing anybody express their truest Bahamian self in front of tourists, aka the world. Like, tourists are the world, right? They get nervous when they hear people talking Bahamian, whether that is Bahamian Creole English or the volume or the veracity in which we speak. Taxi drivers are still sticking their heads out of windows saying Atlantis, you go on Atlantis, because they are so concerned about how they are being perceived, and they think that they should imitate this other accent for the perception of other people. So to all of that, I wish to offer another interpretation of this line in the song. Do you think that Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, whoever you think is the best basketball player of all time, Wilt Chamberlain, do you think that they were stared at and marveled because they owned a three-piece suit? Because they could speak standard English? Or was it because they were such great players, people would see them play and be blown away? People would remark about how they move with confidence on the court. I think that's what the song is saying, that we are so great, or we are to be so great, that they're going to stop and stare at us. The world cannot help but notice us. When we pull up to the airport and we open our mouth, they're going to say, hey, where are you from? The Bahamas? Man, that's wild, that's crazy. I always wanted to go to... That's the world marking the manner of our bearing. They've heard about us. They see what we do, and it is so great that they're in astonishment.
Pledge to excel through love and unity.
So there's very little chance that this is a coincidence that right after those lines that we are told and to pledge to excel through love and unity. This is how we are carrying ourselves. This is how we support ourselves. We are being told once again, this is what you have to do. We need to promise, we must promise ourselves to excel. And how are we going to excel? Through love and unity, which is like one of those things that people don't often think about. the downfall of modern day storytelling is that people shun the epic. And the epic is the only way that you have enough space and time to tell a story where the success and victory is not the result of one person doing a great thing, right? Like a James Bond story could never be an epic because although he has team members, it's all about him. He's the lead. The future and the weight of the world, the fate of the world depends on one man, James Bond. But that's not how it works. Not in real life, not in any way. The fate of the world never depends on a single individual. If we are to excel, it must not be out of selfishness to be the man. It must be done out of love and concern for your community, for our community. And it cannot be done alone. Us excelling must be done through unity. We've been blinded by these stories that are 30 minutes to an hour and a half long. We're told that you could do everything by yourself. But that's not true. Life is as long and exciting and winding and run on as the entire Lord of the Rings saga. There is no main character. Everyone is playing a pivotal role. And so we must pledge to excel. Promising to be successful is also a promise to work together with our brothers and sisters.
Pressing onward, march together to a common loftier goal.
Pressing onward, march together to a common loftier goal. Pressing onward feels once again like another war reference. To march together to this common loftier goal. The song is strewn with wartime analogies and references because what better way to build patriotism than to engage inside the imagery of war? I mean, it makes everybody more patriotic when they're fighting against an enemy. But our enemy is not necessarily another country or another ideology. Our enemy is all the things that we are pledging against, or the opposite of whatever we are pledging to. So if we're lifting up our heads sunward, heading in the direction of the light, our enemy is darkness. If we are pledging to excel, our enemy is failure. If the only way to excel is through love and unity, then division and hate become our enemy. Our common loftier goal is that we are winning, we want to get to glory, we want to get to better. Mediocrity is therefore our enemy.
Steady sunward, though the weather highs are wide and treacherous shore.
Now the first part, steady sunward, that's clear. We're moving in the direction of the light, towards the sun. Those are all positive terms. This is the direction that we're going in, this direction that we're headed in. Though the weather high, the wide, and treacherous shore, what does that mean? Because on the surface, it would seem as though they're saying, look sunward, even though the seas are rough and stormy. But if the seas are rough and stormy, how are you going to see the sun? Are you following the sun? I mean, I think what happens is, because we are so used that when we hear the word weather, we assume that it's bad weather, that we always put that imagery there. But what if the weather is actually good? Give a look at the last piece, the wide and treacherous shoal. That's a historic reference to the fact that there are parts of the Bahamas where the water is shallow, because that's what a shoal is, shallow waters. These often would cause shipwrecks. When you put it all together, what this line seems to be telling us, and I cannot be bothered with authorial intent, I can only tell you what I glean from it. Although the weather looks calm, although the sky is blue, although the sun is shining, we are following the sun, but all the fair weather is hiding the reality of life. This line is a reminder to be aware of the precarious position that we find ourselves at, whether that is geographically, geopolitically, politically, spiritually, whichever way you want to say it. We are looking at the weather and saying, yeah, man, everything looked good and clear, everything looked calm. But we know that there are wide and treacherous dangers out there. Look forward, but also be aware of where we are. So even though the weather is hiding the danger, we are still moving forward in the direction of light. We are aware of the bad things all around us and all the bad things that are possible. We are continuing with caution. How? By lifting up our heads. We cannot focus on the dangers beneath us. We are aware of them, but we cannot let them take us off course.
Lift up your head to the rising sun, Bahama land, till the road you trod leads unto your God. March on, Bahama land.
What exactly does that mean? Because until the road you trod leads unto your God could mean until you die. So you arrived at the end of your road, you've met your maker. And so it could mean until the road has led you to death, you've arrived at your final destination. It also could mean just a regular destination in terms of you've completed the purpose that you set out to fulfill. So you're not necessarily dead, but this is where you wanted to go. So you've arrived at a goal, right? It can mean either of these. Either of those explanations are valid. It could be either one. It could be both. It could be something completely different. The important thing is for the march to continue. As a collective, for us to keep moving forward until we've come to that place. We have to keep moving forward until either you cease to exist, and in the time while you existed, you remained on course, or until you arrive at the place that you're supposed to be arriving at. This is my interpretation of the national anthem. This is Sidebar, a 103 The Beat podcast powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. We'll be right back.
Win a brand new 2026 GAC MPOW every week for 5 weeks. Every 10 reward points earns you 1 digital entry. The more entries you gain, the better your chances to win. 5 weeks, 5 cars. Will you be one of our lucky winners? Catch the keys today, only at Island Luck. Island Luck reminds you that it's only a game, so game responsibly.
Welcome back to Sidebar, 103 The Beat podcast powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. So guys, I figured it out. The source of all the problems in the country, specifically this country, and it's so simple. You would think that the answer to all the issues in the country would either be 1, a million different things, or 2, at the very least, complicated to explain. But you know what's complicated? Tuna fish and grits. Why in the Sam Hill are we as Bahamians taking hot corn porridge and putting cold mayonnaise on top of that and thinking, yeah, this is normal? This is a group of people whose biggest cultural disagreement for the past 50 2 years has been you can't put mayonnaise on conch salad. Think about how weird it is that we both put mayonnaise in and on everything, but also think that it is the most disgusting thing in the world. Mayonnaise does not belong on conch unless it's cracked conch with onions, or conch fritters for conch fritter sauce, or a part of a special sauce that's squirted on everything at a sushi bar. That, my friends, is the action of someone who is mixed up like conch salad with mayonnaise. None of this is the point. But while we're at it, duff. Duff is boiled bread. How is that not weird? Boiled bread? Listen, I'm a conch salad purist, but if we are going to continue on the tuna fish and grits, which, if I recall, is too legit to quit, then maybe we shouldn't be so hard on our northern brothers and sisters for adding a little aioli to their ceviche, if we were to make it fancy sounding. Now, I know what you're thinking. This dingbat is going to blame all of the nation's problems on conch salad. While that would be very entertaining, and I probably could make that argument, no, that's not where I'm going. Points for remembering that this is all about finding the supreme enemy of the progress and the happiness of all Bahamians. There's a group of people who, if you go down to the bottom of every problem in this country, you will find at least one of them at the source. Is your child undereducated? It's this group of people's fault. You don't have a job? It's their fault. You don't have a place to live? It's their fault. Did your wife cheat on you? Their fault. Did you cheat on your wife? It's still their fault. Are you overweight, underweight, middle featherweight? All of it is their fault. Remember that time when you woke up late for school in grade 10 and rushing to get ready? You hit your toe on the metal thing on the side of the bed. You didn't break anything, but it hurt you for a bit. Well, guess what? That was also their fault. I'm going to reveal to you this nefarious group of people that are stopping you from living your best life. But you have to promise me something. You have to promise me that you will not get mad at me for telling you this. Because see, once I tell you this thing, you can't unknow it. And it's going to be so obvious. Now, my producer have told me, no, Stephen, someone will call Urka and throw rocks at you. And you know what? That is what I expect from those people. But you know what? I like you. And so I won't keep this secret from you. The problem with the Bahamas is Bahamians. Now, don't get mad at me. That's what it is. Most times the issues with a group are the members of the group. The problem with the church are Christians. The problem with the Lakers is the team. The problem with the Bahamas is Bahamians. Do you think that the shareholders at Apple blame the IT department at Facebook for their lack of innovation? No. They blame Steve Jobs for dying and not creating, the pancreas. Oh, sorry, the eye pancreas. But all this brings to bear, what is a Bahamian? The most basic of answers, of course, is someone who is from the Bahamas. But what is the Bahamas? It's a word that you hear all the time, but it never strikes you until you're asked to explain, what does that actually mean? Like the word the. You've seen it a million times. You know how to spell it. But what is the definition of the without going to a dictionary? The best tourism pamphlets will say the word Bahamas comes from the Spanish words Bahamar, which translates to shallow sea. Except maps surviving from the 1500s, when the Spanish were running this part of the world, show the islands generally kept their Lucayan names. But on that map, there was already a Bahama. The island of Grand Bahama is the original Bahama, if the fact that the second city is actually the first Bahama wasn't already confusion enough. When you look at the name Bahama in Lucayan, it gets even wilder. You think that it meant something like great fatherland or a land of big four-headed women, but Bahama means large upper middle land. In fact, the original names of most of our islands sound more like directions on a road map. New Providence was Nima, or middle water. Maguana was lesser midwestern land, and Inagua was small eastern land. And sometimes It was called Banaki, which is big water land, which if you're familiar with Inagua, there's a giant lake in the middle of there. There are the names of various islands that sound more like places you pass through, not necessarily the places that are your destination. But no one speaks Lucayan anymore except for a handful of people in Guyana. So when people hear these names like Yuma and Habaco, we can invent whatever we want it to mean and set that as the standard to live up to. We can actually define Bahamian for ourselves. And I hope that that is what we will do. Invent the idea of the Bahamian. Because although Bahamians are the problem with the country of the Bahamas, we are also the only ones that can fix it. You know what's annoying? When someone internationally says something like Buddy Heel originally hails from Bahamas. Who you calling Bahamas? Our name is the Bahamas. We ain't no company for you to be calling us all type of things. And some of you may say, what's the big deal? Your name is your name. Speaking from experience, the worst thing in the world is catching two bus to cash a check downtown to find out that the person spelled your name wrong. Now you got to walk back home because you used your last money to get this far. Officially, our name is the Bahamas. The name includes the word the. Why? I don't actually know. The official reason escapes me, but I've never been too ashamed to guess. Let's start with the word the. That is a definite article, which means that if you put it in front of a noun, the reader or listener is made to be aware that they know that noun. That's a specific thing. If I say the man crossed the street, I know that you know which man I'm talking about and what street. So let's clear this up. When you say the Bahamas, you already know. Reason number two. Another thing with the English language, there's only one definite article. In French, you have les and la, and sometimes just the letter L with an apostrophe because the French are a strange bunch of people. And we will never forget the horrors they've inflicted on the planet from Haiti to Burkina Faso. Spanish also have this habit of colonization as well as multiple definite articles. But in English, colonialism aside, there's only one definite article, the. So same thing. It's just the one Bahamas, the Bahamas. You don't need to get confused. It's only us. Reason three, as you may recall, Bahama is the name that the Lucayans gave to one of these islands. Bahama is one island. So could we name all the islands Bahama? If every island is a Bahama, that means that there's more than one Bahama island. So you add the S, boom, Bahamas. So now when you say the Bahamas, you're making separate islands into one thing, a single multiple. And Bahamians will tell you that you from island to island, should sometimes settlement, that we are different. But at the same time, we are the same thing. What thing? You know the thing. That's how it means it's time to wrap it up. This has been Sidebar 103 Podcast, powered by ILTV. I'm Stephen Hanna. True God still.
Welcome to Paradise Premium Foods, where exceptional taste meets everyday convenience. Right in the heart of Hurricane Hole Plaza, whether you're planning a beachside brunch, an intimate dinner, or simply restocking your favorites, we offer only the finest selection of local and imported goods, handpicked for quality, freshness, and flavor. At Paradise Premium Foods, shopping is effortless, service is personal, and every visit feels like a treat. From gourmet meals to go to organic essentials and indulgent treats, this is your neighborhood market elevated. Live well, eat better. Discover Paradise Premium Foods, now open at Hurricane Hole Plaza, Paradise Island. Paradise Premium Foods, taste the difference.
Edenwell has expanded their testing menu. We now offer blood work, drug screening, and so much more. Our hours of operation are Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., located on 11 Madera Street. We are here for all of your laboratory needs, with fast and reliable lab work done by our friendly and knowledgeable staff. Let us help you take the needed steps to stay in the know about your health. Let's keep working towards a healthier you. Stay Eden well.
Tired of driving around from place to place just to get your car insured and licensed? Frustrated with the process of being back and forth from your insurance company to road traffic? Well, BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers just made insuring and licensing your motor vehicle as easy as 1, 2, 3. Step 1. Visit us at the Road Traffic Department, Section 1, Thomas A. Robinson Sports Stadium. At our office, you can purchase or renew your insurance or get your vehicle inspected. We at BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers represent major carriers. Step 2. See the professionals at Road Traffic to get your vehicle licensed. Step 3. Enjoy your day. Insure with BMG Insurance Agents and Brokers today, saving you time and money. Your one-stop shop for all of your insurance needs. Great rates, convenient, excellent service. For more information, call us at 322-2221.
So you want a space. But not just any space. You need something with a little more potential. So how about 1,000 square feet of room to play with? Superb audio and video production capability, digital LED wall, full lighting grid, and about 124 seats to accommodate a full studio audience with so many other features. Make us your home for your next concert, conference, and so much more. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. Here at ILTV Studios, we'd love to bring your next event to life. So what do you say? Do you want our space?